Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Though it is not a match day, but we are still here, and it is a big one because we are here to preview the IPL playoffs. So, finally, the group stage action is now done. We now know who are our top four picks, and they are going to light up the remaining matches in the tournament. So, I think it's going to be really a cracker of a playoff season because always, in IPL, to be very honest, I'm sure that the guys over here will agree with me on this. मतलब जो वो hype रहता है कि fourth team कौन आने वाली है, playoffs में कौन आने वाली है, that is one hype. And the second part of the hype in the tournament is all about who is going to lift the trophy. So IPL is actually divided in two parts, playoffs and non-playoffs. So we are now into the second part. ऐसे वो dialogue है ना, we are in the end game right now. So this is the right way to describe it. So we got Ronak, Nikhil, and Vansh here with us on the panel. Nikhil and Vansh, you can obviously see based on the colors that they are wearing, which teams they are supporting. So I think there is nothing new to say about that. But Ronak here is a free agent. He can represent any team he wants. To be very honest, I mean the only team that is left is the BCCI panel members, which he will soon be representing in the upcoming games. But let us start off with you, Nikhil. Firstly, CSK. Talk about CSK, man. Obviously, you can see it in the comment section. Sanmay is mentioning, let us go for that fourth trophy. I mean, fourth trophy, it was actually, it looked like it was coming in 2019, but Kalinga had other plans. So there were lots of heartbreaks, specifically against one team. And obviously, that was Mumbai Indians. So CSK must be so relieved that they are not facing Mumbai Indians in the playoffs. So Nikhil, talk us through about CSK in the playoffs and what would be your expectations from the team in this leg.
Yes, you rightly mentioned that we are relieved that Mumbai Indians are not coming in because it's always always they have the upper hand, and the stats suggest so. Uh, it has been a brilliant turnaround, to be very honest. We have played excellent cricket all through the season, and to maintain a streak of 5 wins in a row and 4 wins in a row in a high volume tournament like IPL, it's a big thing. And to the major thing has been the turnaround has been so quickly done. They had just 4 months, 4 months left to just tune up and understand what their flaws are, and they did it so well. And it virtually it's just a one change that Moeen Ali went at number 3 and Suresh Raina came back, so two changes. And this looks like a different team altogether. So yes, many people would have questions in their mind that CSK have lost 3 in a row. Does the winning momentum count? But I guess the big teams do not need momentums. They have played good cricket throughout, so I expect them to play very good cricket again, and just understand what they need to do, and continue to play excellent cricket as they are doing it. And it's just a matter of time. Just a matter of two matches, 2 good days, and then we just lift our fourth trophy.
Definitely matter of two matches for CSK, but we'll be joining by the DC fan, Mr. Ahan Gupta, and as I was saying, he's already here. So Ahan here is representing the Delhi Capitals right from the United Kingdom. So really pleasure to have you, Ahan, for the first time on Third Man Cricket Show. We got Gurkirat the last time we did a Delhi Capitals preview, but now finally we have the second star of the Delhi team, that is you. So obviously, we started off with Nikhil representing Chennai Super Kings. He talked us through how he's confident of fourth trophy coming to Chennai. So, An, show us that confidence. Show us that Delhi boy confidence in bringing the trophy to Delhi.
Bro, I don't need to show any confidence. I mean, all he has to do is check the last four games that we played against each other. It's 4-0 to us. And he has got a middle order that's barely being able to hit the ball off the square. So I think the numbers and the game speaks for itself.
Numbers and the game speak for itself. Ahan here is not going to just shy around from banter. He's going to come all guns blazing. So Nikhil, watch out for that. But don't worry, Nikhil, you'll be joining in with your partner for CSK. We got Prasanna and Rishi if he is free to be joining from the CSK point of view. But before we talk further about the other teams, since Ahan is here, let us now talk about Delhi Capitals for one moment. So can we just show the Delhi Capitals recent results and their top scorer in the league right till now? So as you can see in front of your screen, this is what Delhi Capitals in the group stages have all been. The top scorer Shikhar Dhawan with 544 runs. Avesh Khan leading the wicket charts with 22 wickets. I think he's such an underrated bowler, and with all the performance, all the hype about Harshal Patel being, I think Avesh Khan is a pretty underrated bowler. So you can also see the result of Delhi Capitals on left side of your screen. So quite a comprehensive season it has been for Delhi Capitals. So Ahan, talk us through, man. I mean, obviously the last 2 or 3 years have been so much better for Delhi Capitals in terms of consistency. I mean, second time in a row you guys have finished in the top two. So since no Mumbai Indians, I mean, I spoke about this point with Nikhil earlier. So since no Mumbai Indians, are you confident of getting the first trophy finally for Delhi?
Bro, Sanchit, you know me. I'm not interested in jinxing anyone over here. I'm especially not my own team. So I'm not gonna say that I mean, obviously, I want them to win the title. I'm not gonna say, oh, we're gonna go and win the title. I think I think we've got a good chance, as good a chance as we ever had, if I put it that way. So I think using cricketing logic and the like just looking at the way the teams have performed, I think Delhi is the best team in the tournament as yet. But I mean, strange things happen when you have knockout games. So if Delhi can keep their cool, if they've got I think they've got the most rounded team. So if they can keep their cool and just keep going the way they have been, then I think we should be fine. But I'm not going to go out and say, yeah, we're going to win it, if that's what you want me to say.
Just a
Yeah,
one
Ronak,
point
you
I need to mention.
bol bindas bol.
Yeah.
Uh,
बोल निखिल बोल.
Han said that he told us to look through the last four results of CSK DC. I want to tell this one line and put it to rest, that league stages are different and knockout games are different, and they really need to understand what is the difference, because it's just the second time we are in the 11th time. I guess I lost count, but
So wait,
they
you
really
said
need
this
to
is our
understand.
second time. This is our second time in the playoffs. Bro, have you
Yes.
followed 14 seasons? It's not the second time. It's
How
maybe
many is it?
seven or six, six.
Wait,
Okay.
2010,
8, 9, 10, boss. We made in the beginning. We made
bro,
3 or
8,
4 in
yeah,
a
8,
row.
9, 10. What?
Nobody remembers the Delhi Daredevil, Sahan.
No, no, no.
Prasanna, bro, come on, stats, bro.
We are
Bro, I don't
so
remember correctly. This is just like,
we are so
I swear I don't
confused in
remember correctly.
our qualifying that we don't remember other teams qualifying. So just my point was that the league stages are different and the knockouts pressure are different, and you're facing a captain who has captained the side through for 11 playoffs. So and as well as nine or eight finals. So so that's, I'll keep it to rest there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm happy you brought up the point about the captain, because we're playing a team with 10 players and a captain, because that captain is not doing anything apart from making some decisions from behind the stumps. So
Yes, and
I don't know what is going on.
those decisions make them go on a winning streak twice in the
Sorry,
season. Yes.
are you not coming on the back of 3 losses, or have I got the stats
Yes,
wrong?
yes, we are. Yes, we are.
That's how
Absolutely, we
many
are.
we've lost 4 the whole season.
Well done.
Well, I
Congratulations.
think the
Must
band
feel good.
it has already begun. It has already begun. I mean, I told you that Ahan is not going to be shy around, but don't worry, guys, because Ahan is not going to be joined in by a partner. He says that he's alone. मतलब वो अकेला ही काफी है. He said that, so
Lone
that shows his
warrior.
confidence.
I'm
But
I'm
for
actually scared
CSK's
of
point of view,
Prasanna, bro. Prasanna scares me. Everyone else is fine.
yeah, I was just about to introduce him because we know what happened on Fan Dusra in the first leg of the IPL. Prasanna just knocked you out, bro, in that fighting talk. So Prasanna, so obviously you joined in right now. You heard a little bit about what Ahan had to say about CSK and Delhi Capitals for that matter. But talk us through with the match in hand. I mean, obviously a big one. The qualifier one against Delhi Capitals set to be played tomorrow in the Indian time point of view. So, how confident are you? Will you are you confident to get that job done and meet possibly Delhi Capitals once again in the final, or maybe Vansh is here representing KKR? He could fancy a chance at RCB and meet you guys in the final. So, what are your thoughts on tomorrow's match?
I mean, the last time I did that, the match, what happened, what followed it, everyone knows what happened. They comprehensively outclassed us. So, yeah, the thing is, I think CSK have been found in the last two games. Take out the opener or the top three, and effectively half the game is won there. And when you start, when even we saw against Punjab with a target of 135, 140, and when you start like that, the way KR Rahul did against the bowlers, it's only a question of when and not if they are going to, if the batting team is going to win. And CSK, one of the strongest points this season is the 5 matches we won the toss. We have bowled first. We have won all five. So we are good at chasing, but the thing is we're not good at setting targets because to they are both different things. Because when you're chasing a target, you know what you're chasing, and you sometimes you can take the risk of trying to play till a little late because you know you have the runs in hand or whatever. But when you're setting a target, that's not the case. Um, sometimes you don't know whether to. Sometimes you may lose a wicket and you don't know whether to start say, "Oh, should I go for the shot? Should I keep my wicket in hand because I've just lost the wicket?" So it's always a dilemma for them batsmen when when they're setting targets. But I think um, yeah, they obviously, as I mentioned earlier, they found out the way to get out Rotas Gaikwad, set him up, and bowl him one that quick snorter short ball, and then he's found out that way. And I think that's twice this season that the Delhi Capitals bowlers have sussed out our openers. Even in the first game, they got out our openers cheap. They got out Duplessis early, they got out Rudraj early, and then Moeen Ali came and he did Rager action. Raina got 50, and Sam Curran at the end, he scored wonderfully, and we got to 180 and so forth. The second game, it wasn't the same case. Second game also, the openers were sussed out, and mid-order was put to test. And once you expose a mid-order that much, when they have not had much game time all season, they are going to struggle, and they struggled big time. Yes, somebody Raidu played decently. At the end, he got a few good shots, but apart from that, was nothing much else to talk. And our bowling hasn't been that bad, to be fair. The way Delhi started, you thought they would finish in 15, 16 overs. But credit to our bowlers, we somehow got them back. And if Gautam had took that catch of Hetman, the game was probably over there because it would have been 22-15 and only Akshar Patel, Rabada, and other players to follow. So it's the small moments, but to be fair, I'm not that confident. Although I will be excited, obviously. Seeing our team in a semi-final, I'll be up for it. I'll still be wearing the shirt I'll see in the game, but I'm not that confident as how I would be had we played better in those last three games.
Prasanna, is it just about say our middle order is struggling or something like that? Because if we see that we have failed against not just while batting, but we have also stuttered when we face quality pace attack. So you see against Delhi we struggled. We see against KKR we struggled to chase that target down, even though we were in a comfortable position. So CSK has been struggling with, I think, genuine pace, not just the middle orders. So do you feel that way, or is it just about batting first or batting second?
I think that, yeah. Ahan, you're
You
on
are in
mute.
mute.
So
Mute.
I have
Mute
got
your
one more question since all three CSK fans here. Where should MS Dhoni bat in the order?
He shouldn't bet.
He shouldn't bat. That is what I was going to say.
No, the winning formula in the first leg was that he would send all the big hitters or the guys who have got potential or more potential than him up, and then he would hold himself back. So I guess he'll tend to do that. He's come up at six in the last three games, but I guess it was just to get some game time so that if a collapse happens or something happens, then he can rescue them out, and it won't be that he hasn't batted all season. That was the reason, and they had that luxury because they played very good cricket at the start. So they had that luxury. Even if they lose, they still have qualified. If him holding back has worked for the team, so I guess he'll go back to that strategy and send in Jadeja or Bravo ahead of him.
But what if you find yourself like 20-30 for three then?
I mean, that was always going to happen, to be fair. Even in the second leg, we saw the first for 3 4 games when the openers were scoring massive runs. Them having a day off was always going to happen. And when they had the day off, it was obvious that middle order was going to struggle because they had not had much game time. Yes, you can hit how many sixes ever in the practice games, do whatever there, but when it comes to on the pitch, it's obviously a different ball game. So I'm happy at least they got some game time. I mean, bringing Robin Uthappan didn't make a big difference, to be fair. For against Delhi, he probably looked half decent at best. But apart from that, nothing much else to say. But I just hope that openers can get back their groove. Yeah, that's Dhoni. And I just hope at the toss, Dhoni wins the toss and chooses to bowl.
Just
Yeah,
one thing,
yeah,
just
Ronak.
one thing. If any team wants some kind of jinxing power to work for them, just give few bucks to Sanchit. He is the official jinxer of India, I guess, not just for third man
Bro, nothing
cricket.
comes
So
to Yatharth, bro. Yatharth is like extreme.
You know,
okay,
Sanjit, who
okay.
taught you your jinxing powers, bro?
exactly. I was just about to mention this, so I'm making it a point live on live television right now. So all the jinxing hype. Actually, I was thought about it from Ahan himself. So Ahan is the god of jinxing powers. He actually on his own he helped Delhi Capitals reach the final, but for some reason I'm not sure why Delhi Capitals failed to win that. So maybe he's like a choker in terms of jinxing term. Playoffs तक आने के बाद it doesn't work. So
Sanjit, where's your
like
team, bro, in the top four? Before you start calling other teams chokers, tell me.
मैं तो बोल सकता हूँ बिंदास अभी but yeah, to be very honest, since playoffs is not just about two teams, we also got one share silently watching all this talk about the top two teams in the qualifiers and hoping कि मेरा time कब आएगा. But I think KKR you मतलब no matter which team's fan you are right now, you have to say that KKR's turnaround in the second leg, it was phenomenal. I mean, who saw it coming, to be very honest? We all were thinking कि शायद मुंबई इंडियंस क्वालिफाई होगी, शायद RCB will mess up, but nobody gave KKR a chance before the second leg. So kudos to Kolkata finally making their way into the playoffs. So once obviously a big game against RCB. So unfortunately we don't have Varnata or Afzal who are supposed to join us representing RCB here, but we can start talking about Kolkata here. So a big one against RCB at Sharjah, the game where Kolkata played really well against Rajasthan Royals the other day. So how is the mood overall in KKR camp? Do you think that you guys could do what SRH did in 2016, win it from the fourth position?
Well, I think I'm really glad that we had that match at Sharjah because that was a complete confidence booster for us. And of course, we're playing the eliminator now at Sharjah itself. So, I mean, we know the conditions quite well. And
Even the
yeah,
qualifier
you
two was
can.
at Sharjah.
Sorry?
Even the qualifier two will be at Sharjah.
Yeah, true, true. So that's one added bonus that we've got, and winning by such a big margin against Rajasthan. I mean, that was really the plus point there. But talking about the entire campaign, I mean, I personally didn't expect KKR to bounce back this strongly, being a KKR fan as well. But the way that they've pulled out, I mean, seven out of 7 games, they've won five now, and the 2 games that they lost were also quite closely contested. And really proud of how KKR have played. Just one concern is that will Andre Russell be back? Because I mean, at Sharjah, I mean, personally, I don't really think that Russell is needed, but the impact that he brings about in the playoffs. So that will be one concern for the management if they have to drop out Shakib and bring in Russell into the 11. But other than that, I feel we're going in with a lot of confidence into the eliminator, and I mean, we have the upper hand, to be honest, against RCB because RCB, although they've won the last ball thriller last time around, they still don't know the Sharjah pitch as well as we do at the moment. So I feel that the spinners that we've got and the pitch, how we've utilized it in the last game, I feel KKR definitely have got the upper hand. And let's repeat what we did in 2014.
Yeah, and also one more thing. I mean, Ahan already mentioned about CSK, and he had the question asked, ki, where should MS Dhoni bat? And Prasanna rightfully said that he shouldn't bat. So, Vansh, if we talk about your skipper, Owen Morgan, who is not doing so well with the bat in this season, would your answer be similar to what Prasanna said? Do you want Morgan to be batting higher up the order, or would you be happy even if he doesn't come out to bat?
I'll be more than happy for him not coming out to bat because, and I'm really happy with the fact that he realizes the fact that he's not in good form. I mean, sending Dinesh Karthik up the order for 3 times now in this leg. So I mean, I'm really happy that Morgan has realized that he's not that capable as a batsman down the order, especially in pitches like UAE. So I'm really happy about that fact. And to be honest, I'll be more than happy if Morgan doesn't come out to bat because I want the top order to get the job done.
Top order to get the job done. I just left let this panel open, so it's not a team specific answer. So obviously, Prasanna mentioned that the second match will be at Sharjah itself. So one said that it is like an added bonus. But do you guys feel that the winner of eliminator will find it much more easier to get into the final as compared to the loser of qualifier one? Because we know that it is so difficult to adapt to different conditions in Abu Dhabi and Dubai to Sharjah. So, do you think that one of KKR or RCB, whoever wins on Monday, will be straight away favorites against CSK or DC when it comes to qualifier two? So, I'll just let this panel open. Anyone can take this answer.
I have an interesting example on this, but I don't want to bring that up again. But we saw in 2019 that the eliminator and the qualifier tour played at, I guess, Rajkot or somewhere. I don't exactly remember the ground, but it was the same two wickets which were played with, and Delhi won their previous game, and they couldn't, even if knowing the conditions well, they couldn't go on and beat CSK. So I don't think it is about knowing the pitch well, because you never can predict what the other stripe is, or what the previous stripe was. So it is very important to play good cricket on that particular day, and uh, having to continue that momentum from eliminator to qualifier 2. Yes, it will give slight the edge because of the conditions, and what they'll know that what they need to do when if they win the toss, bat or ball, what favors them more. But I don't think the conditions will play a huge role, that you cannot straight away consider them as favorites, I guess.
Okay. What about you, Ahan? You had your hand raised. Yeah.
I mean, I have a slightly differing opinion. I think it depends. I think in India, a lot of the pitches or the wickets around the country are similar, or like you play on many different, like you play on different wickets, but they end up being like there are sets of wickets that are the same around the country, so you're used to it. But I think when it comes to over here, I think Dubai and Sharjah are kind of different wickets. They're quite significantly different in the sense of the size of the ground as well as the wickets that they're playing on. Honestly, according to me, if you ask me sitting today as a Delhi fan, which is the one team that scares me the most in the playoffs, it's KKR for sure, because I think they have the most rounded team. So I think for Delhi, I think Delhi needs to win the first game and go straight to the finals, because I feel like if we lose the first game, to KKR have already beaten us at Sharjah this year. So if we lose to CSK and then have to play KKR at Sharjah, that can get really dicey. Especially given I think their bowling attack is probably the best, most rounded attack there is in for the Sharjah conditions. Not in the IPL, I think that's still ours, but I think for the Sharjah conditions, they have the best bowling attack available. So I think I would, as a Delhi fan, I don't want to face them. So I'd say if KKR win the eliminator, then they are favorites against whoever they play in the qualifier too. If RCB win the eliminator, I still think Delhi and CSK can back themselves to win.
It's good that you brought the topic of KKR. So let us now look at the KKR season so far in this IPL. So can we have
Nice
the
segue, Sanchit.
yeah?
Proud of you.
So as you can see already in the comment section, Omkar mentioned about Varun Chakravarti. Let's talk about Varun Chakravarti, because I think today or tomorrow the final World Cup squad may be finally released. So we'll definitely see Varun Chakravarti in the squad. So Varun Chakravarti topping the wickets chart for Kolkata Knight Riders with 16 wickets. Prasiddha Krishna, who is not a part of the starting 11, take second in the point in the table with 12 wickets, and Andre Russell. So if you can see the top three players, only one of them is actively playing in the playing 11. We still don't know about if Andre Russell will be playing or not. So if you look at it from different point of view, KKR are not that over reliant on Varun Chakravarti. Even in the last game, you saw the likes of Lockie Ferguson and Shivam Mavi coming into party with the ball. So they are, as Ahan rightly said, a well-rounded team. So, question to you, one. So obviously, lots of praises in the for KKR on the panel and as well as in the comment section as well. Kaustub saying that would love to see KKR reach the final. So, do you think, like, say it honestly, once, do you feel that if KKR beats RCB on Monday, would KKR be regarded as the favorites to lift the trophy, or is it still too early to call them as the favorites?
I would never regard KKR as favorites. I would regard them as underdogs because once we title them as the underdogs, they tend to really perform well. And that's exactly what has happened this year. That's exactly what happened in 2014. Once you bring out the hype that KKR are playing well, they're going to be winning the IPL. I mean, I don't know what happens, but it's just a trend that I've observed that once you consider them as the underdogs and, uh, because we are an all-rounded team, as you saw in the stats there, three players with scores of 300 plus, and we don't have a Prithvi Shaw who's scoring 450 or a KL Rahul who's scoring more than 500 runs this time around. We have a good batting lineup, and I'm very happy that the uncapped players are really putting their hand up when the likes of On Morgan and even Russell in the middle phases of the tournament didn't perform. So I'm really happy that the uncapped players have put their hand up, and it's too early to say that we are the favorites. But yes, we've got the upper hand, and I'd still title us as the underdogs.
Look at him playing the underdog card. I mean, obviously, everyone loves to play the underdog card and not be too overconfident about your team spot. But here is an interesting question here. I would just like to ask all of you to answer it in your own creative ways. So, Abhinav in the comment section is a diehard Mumbai Indians fan, and for the first time, matlab, it seems like ages since 2018 when MI missed the playoffs. So he's asking, who should MI fans support now in the playoffs? So I'm giving the panel a chance to just help Abhinav pick a team for the playoffs. So if anyone wants to take this, just tell him कि कौन सी team को support करना चाहिए in your own way.
Well, Virat Kohli gave the captaincy to Rohit Sharma. He should support Virat Kohli, I guess, for that matter. In fact, so that if that is the case, then he should support RCB. He also wants a new winner. That is also in our favor. That we have never won the tournament. So RCB should be the team that Abhinav and all the Mumbai Indians fans should support right now. Though we were quite significant in getting them out of the playoffs, but you should support the team that got you out in the first place.
Okay, so you don't count Delhi Capitals? Yes, yes.
I think Ronak hasn't checked the games properly because I think if I remember correctly, Delhi beating Mumbai is what knocked them out, which is exactly how Mumbai got knocked out in 2018. They had to beat Delhi to get in, and they lost. So the last two times Mumbai have been knocked out, it's been because of Delhi. And also, I mean, see, CSK is their closest competitor in terms of trophies. KKR is the one who took them out on net run rate. And RCB, I mean, Kohli and Rohit supposedly have beef. So, I mean, I know Delhi, Mumbai don't really get along, but like support whoever you want, bro, but support Delhi if you want.
Ahan, you could have
So,
taken that as a metaphor for two losses this season.
Sorry?
You could have taken that as a metaphor for two losses this season against us.
Oh, bro, I don't know. Did you see the table?
Yeah, I saw that, and we are coming to fetch you up.
And did you see the last
oh,
6 games we played? It's 4-2. So, I mean, up to you,
Yeah,
bro.
but the last two you saw that this season we are in Abu Dhabi, and
Bro, last game, honestly, the last game that Delhi played, their heads were on the beach, bro. Like they were dropping like some 3-4 catches they dropped. I don't know what all they were doing. It was okay. I think
well,
okay.
yeah, now you are going to be ganged up because the big man is here, Rishi sir, finally representing CSK. So on the panel, you got three CSK representatives and just one Delhi Capital. So,
I'm
matlab, it's
texting
decide.
Gurjeet.
Sanket,
I'm
here,
texting Gurjeet.
listen. This is how it's going to be. This is Ayan, and this
Ahan,
is
man, Rishi, come on, you
Ahan.
know me
Sorry,
long enough. How
sorry,
rude!
sorry, Han, and we are basically three Chennai Super Kings supporter.
Four
We
if
have
you
three
include Ronak
losses.
Bhai.
3-0. Soon to be 4-0, huh?
Yeah,
You wish to answer that?
four supporters, four zeros.
See, I mean,
Yes, yes.
at least a supporter team that has played all 14 seasons of the IPL, right? I mean,
There you go. There
You
you
know,
go.
it's the same old
When
story,
you can't find a
because
point.
it's like, that kid in the school, who keeps complaining to the teacher or to the mother, मम्मी मेरे को ये मेरे को इसलिए परेशान करता है, एक ही चीज पकड़ के same story again and
now,
again.
bro, what do
Buddy,
I do? There's only so
it's
much I can
not
come back with. No, I mean, I know we haven't
it's
won. Now, what
not
can I say?
yeah, it's not, what you do off field. On field, we've been so good. On field, we've been so good as a team in the season that we played, that you're nowhere close to what our Z or Y team can actually be.
Sorry,
Rishi,
where are you on the
Rishi, it
table?
is.
Where are you on the table right today?
Doesn't matter. It's what matters is how many trophies we've got. You can still be number one in the points table. It's not Barclays Premier League, where football championship is on, and you top the table and you declare the winner. It's the trophy that you lift, and we've lifted 3 trophies. You're still, I can actually see, yeah.
An is silently recording this. If in case Delhi wins tomorrow, then he's going to publish this
Is this
social
on
media
YouTube?
tagging.
Is this on YouTube? This show? I'm telling you,
It
Yes,
is.
if this
YouTube,
changes
Facebook,
at the
LinkedIn,
if
everywhere.
this changes at the end of the season, now I have so many people I want to come at after this season. We just cannot lose this now. If we lose, I'm
But
gonna get
listen, if we win, you better go underground in London, yeah. Because we're gonna find you. So many of the Bharat Army people are still there in London. We all gonna find you and go after you.
Anyways, they call that a basement.
Well, don't worry. You're not alone in the comment section, because Mohit here is a member of DC Toli. Is saying that Delhi is present in the chat too. So don't worry, you're not alone. So Mohit, you can also just show your support in the comment section. Look at how they are ganging up on poor Ahan. So just show what it means to the Delhi boys. But yeah, as always, Rishi, good to have you once again. So we discussed about CSK, and mainly talking about Dhoni's position in the batting order, but we haven't discussed CSK season overall. So can we have the CSK banner in front of us? What they did so far in the season. So yes, as you can see, this is the recent results for Chennai Super Kings in the IPL so far. Their top run scorers and their top wicket takers as well. So the top wicket takers leading by the Lord himself, Shardul Thakur, with 14 wickets. Surprising how he's still not considered in the World Cup squad. We'll get to that in a bit, but Shardul Thakur and Deepak Chahar topping the wickets chart. Dwayne Bravo just 9 behind. And top run scorer Faf du Plessis is the veteran. Ruturaj Gaikwad, who's had a sensational tournament as well. And Moeen Ali, who we'll be talking about just in a little bit. So, Rishi, so we have already discussed with Nikhil and Prasanna. So, asking you as well. So, we all talk about CSK, and whenever CSK comes into our mind, there are only two players that are just right in front of our eyes, and that is Mahendra Singh Dhoni and Suresh Raina. But unfortunately for Suresh Raina in this season, it hasn't been going that well. Plus, he missed out on a couple of matches due to injury or being dropped. I'm not sure about the exact reason. So, do you think that it is time for Mr. IPL, as you guys like to call, to finally come back into form and be back in the team as well in the playoffs? Do you see him coming back into the team tomorrow against Delhi?
Hopefully, yes, Sanchit. But let's be very clear. MS Dhoni and Suresh Raina are done when it comes to the playing days. I know it's very harsh to say this, and as a Ranchi boy, as a MS Dhoni fan, you have to put your emotions away when you're representing a team, and you have to accept the reality. The reality is MS Dhoni and Suresh Raina are nowhere close to what they were at their peak. And I think it's time for them to hang up their boots. Not just these two players, but a lot of players in the CSK camp. I can actually count Robin Uthappa. I can count Fab du Plessis, Dwayne Bravo. I'm not really sure if he's going to come back for another 2 or 3 seasons. So a lot of these players who will hang up their boots at the end of the season, and might take up some role in the Chennai Super Kings setup. But I would want, if Suresh Raina is not there in the team tomorrow, I don't want Robin Uthappa to continue, because there's a lot of young bench strength that we have. We have Jagdishan, who played in the last leg of the in the 2020 IPL. and he wasn't up to the mark. His performance wasn't right up there. So we saw Rituraj Gaikwad come back in 2020 and score those three consecutive 50s. I would want Jagdishan to give the management to give him a go, and probably see which players we can retain for the next IPL. So not really sure if Suresh Raina is going to come back. If not, I don't want Robin Uthappa back into the team.
Definitely, and a very interesting stat in front of us about Chennai Super Kings' performance in the power play with the bat. So they have scored 587 runs with a strike rate of 116 and 15 wickets, losing 15 wickets in the season so far in the power play. So pretty sure with a strike rate of 116, it is not that good as you would expect it to be as a CSK fan. So is this stat really a worrying factor for CSK going ahead into the playoffs, or do you think the consistency that Faf du Plessis and Ruturaj Gaikwad are providing at the top of the order with the runs that they are scoring is enough to help CSK fans be confident going forward?
Sanchit, stats for this season I think are very irrelevant because first half was played in India where the pitches were very different. The second half is being played in UAE where the pitches are on the opposite end of what they were in last year's IPL. It's a complete different scenario for all the 8 teams this season. So I think what is important is we have just two more games. Take it as two more games that you will play. One against Delhi tomorrow, and then probably if you qualify for the finals. So two more games, go out there and give your best. We've had a great opening partnership with Fab du Plessis and Rituraj Gaikwad. I think they've been great for us opening, and the kind of start we both know Rituraj Gaikwad and Fab du Plessis can actually accelerate if they manage to bat till 8 or 10 overs or 12 overs. They can actually give us those big shots and the runs that's needed. So not really worried about what stats say. The strike rate and everything can wait. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how they go about tomorrow against Delhi, especially after we've lost both the games against them.
Yeah, Nikhil, you had your hand raised. You wish to add something?
Yes, yes, those stats are relevant, not really relevant, but they can be taken into consideration. But they've set a template, Ruturaj and Faf, that even if they don't really smash it in the power play, they set a tone. And then in the first leg, we saw them dominate, absolutely dominate the middle overs with Moeen Ali coming in, he expressing himself, and even guys like Suresh Raina and Ambati Raidu, we tend to forget Ambati Raidu because we had this discussion and Ambati Raidu's name never came in, but he's an unsung hero for the team, and whenever the team has needed him, he's been there. So they had set a template that just to set a base and dominate the middle overs. They haven't quite been dominating the middle overs here in the UAE because it is difficult. The pitch gets slower, so there are two different sides to that. Playing in India is different, playing in UAE is different, but they really need to continue what they're doing because it has worked for them. So they'll continue to do that. And Rishi mentioned that he does not want to see Robin Uthappa. Yes, he did not he looked all out of sorts everywhere. So we exactly know that Suresh Raina has started practicing. Yesterday's picture came in, so maybe he will be given a go because the exact same story happened with Shane Watson. Yes, different roles, different responsibilities, but exact same thing happened with Shane Watson, that people initially thought that he should be rested, but at the end of the day, he just scored a half century in the qualifier one in 2019. Then he went on to score an 89 in the finals as well. So yes, this is a bold statement to make, and he looks out of sorts, Serena as well. But I guess he has one match changing and important innings left in it if he plays tomorrow or in the
Yeah,
finals.
you had your hand raised.
I think this comparison to Watson has become a very easy thing to do. Like I keep hearing Chennai fans doing this every time one guy is failing every year. They say, "Oh, Watson did this once." I think people forget Watson still had like he had lost his hand-eye coordination a little bit, which is fine. He got that back by playing more and more. He didn't have any openly technical flaws in his game when he was playing. Even in that season where he came back and scored those two amazing innings at the end to win them the title or whatever. But when you talk about someone like Raina, he anyway had a technical flaw to the short ball when he was young. Now his hand-eye coordination has fallen even worse. His eyes are not at the same level. And when you are now going to face with a technical flaw, you're going to face a ball at 150 from Nokia and Rabada, Avesh. When you're facing short balls at that speed, it's not easy. It's going to become even tougher and like more and more tougher. So I think the Watson comparison doesn't really hold here because Watson did not have any like technical flaws. It was just about like his coordination had all gone off and it clicked after a few games. Right now, when like I can't remember, I think the first or second game this season, maybe it was the first one, where Bolt bowled like 4 bouncers to him. He bowled one bouncer. After that, Raina literally tried to slog everything out of the ground. Like he didn't even look like he was trying to defend. He just like I think he looked like he was hitting and hoping literally like hopefully something will come off. And I think honestly, I would as a Delhi fan, I would want to see Raina in there because I feel like even though Robbie Uthappa might not be as talented in his prime, I still think he has slightly more to offer than Raina does today. Because I think with Raina, if you bowl like a short ball to him, I think he goes so defensive, he closes himself up like so bad, like his mind literally gets blocked. So I think Robbie Uthappa still like in the game against Delhi, he looked decent. He had like 19-20 runs. So I think I mean if I would rather that for a Delhi perspective, I would not want Uthappa there. But I mean I don't know.
Interesting. So he wants to see Raina in that 11 and just target him with the short balls. We'll wait and see what happens. So unfortunately, we don't have the RCB fan joining us. So Ronak will be there. But before we move to RCB, I'll just ask this one question to Rishi here. So already Ahan mentioned about the team that he would not want Delhi Capitals to face so early in the tournament and the team that he fears the most. And he said that KKR is a well-rounded team according to him, and they are a team to watch out for from Delhi's point of view. So, Rishi, same question to you. Out of all the 4 teams that are there in the playoffs, which team do you feel will be the most troublesome team for Chennai Super Kings in their hunt to get that fourth trophy?
Personally, I think it's going to be a CSK RCB final. I don't see Delhi qualifying. I don't see KKR qualifying because personally, Sanchit, I've seen KKR have done absolutely everything they deserve to be in the playoff. They've had a brilliant IPL second leg. The openers were brilliant, and the kind of team that they have on paper is a blockbuster movie. But somewhere the top order is very vulnerable. If you see Shubman Gill and yeah, they're not really experienced, but if early wickets are taken against KKR, they panic. Morgan is not in the great form. He's been flop in the UAE leg. Dinesh Karthik hasn't had the great run. Andre Russell is not the same big hitter that he used to be, at least not in this IPL. So if you see overall KKR batting is very bits of pieces here and there. I feel Delhi is also very vulnerable. We saw what happened yesterday against RCB. One good game and you can actually shake up the Delhi Capital team. I know there are quite a few big names, but it's very interesting to see that we've lost 2 games back to back to Delhi, and believe me, we've actually lost 3 games on the row now. So Chennai Super King is going to go hard against Delhi, and it's going to be interesting to see how they play against us tomorrow. But personally, if you ask me, I think it's going to be RCB versus Chennai Super Kings because CSK, again, I'm a big supporter, and RCB, I think they have the momentum on their side going into the finals playoffs.
Okay. Prasanna, you had your hand raised.
Yeah, I kind of think that Delhi might win tomorrow, and then Chennai would somehow manage qualifier 2, whether it be RCB or KKR, would somehow manage them because I don't think even if we lose qualifier round, we would somehow have the minerals to get over qualifier 2. But then again, in the final, it would be a big question whether CSK would turn up against Delhi because I think Delhi, even though they lost against RCB yesterday, they were only this close. I mean, they were like. It was just the minor loss of concentration from Avesh Khan just bowling those 2 full tosses. And I think still yeah, that's the thing. We need to Delhi is overall a well-balanced side, whereas CSK do have flaws. So I think if CSK win if they bat first, they win. The technique to win tomorrow is if the openers or they do not get out within 6 overs, then they can go on. And same thing speaking about Raina earlier. He needs those 5 or 10 balls to just get into groove because the first 5 or 10 balls is where you can get him. That is where he seems very rusty. He seems out of place. I mean, we saw against Mumbai. He looked absolutely scared to even bat. when he was randomly swinging and he was ducking and everything else. And one time I was wondering, I'm not being funny. At one time I was wondering whether he's batting or dancing. I mean, I am not taking the piss, but I just hope, yeah, like we saw against the Delhi earlier this season, he took 5 or 10 balls to get into groove, and once he got set, and then he can do what we know Raina can do, and he scored 50. So I think Raina will play tomorrow, and if Robin Uthappa plays, I think the better for him would be opening rather than number 4, because I think openers are best played. Openers look their best when they are played at their best position, opening position. So if Uthappa plays, I would rather see Faf du Plessis maybe number 3 or number 4, because du Plessis can do that as well. He can open as well as he can hold the anchor and hold one side. So I think, but seeing the pictures Raina practicing, I'm sure he will be back. And apart from that, we did bring in Dominic Drakes, but I don't think he's going to get a game unless Hazelwood is injured or something. But we never know. Um, but yeah, and speaking of Abhinav's earlier thing, who do you want Mumbai? Who do Mumbai fans want to win? I think they'll probably want KKR or DC, because they hate RCB as much as they hate CSK, and if CSK doesn't win, that's okay. That's still 2 trophies away. But if obviously if RCB wins, it's the end of the world. No one is logging into Twitter or Instagram to see their accounts, because we all know what will happen. But I think they would want KKR or DC to win, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, Han.
No, I just find it really funny how when like Rishi right now brought up that Delhi lost the last game, so it exposes flaws. But Chennai have lost the last 3 games, and that means nothing. Like he literally, when he came in, I said you lost 3 games. He said that means nothing. But because Delhi lost the last game, they have flaws. I mean, honestly, yes, they lost their last game, but come on, Rishi, did you watch the game yesterday at all?
I did. I mean, look at the way Akshar Patel was laughing as if he's
Exactly.
actually
That's
won
my
the
point.
game.
That's my point. They were so switched off on that game yesterday. Like they were like in football. I
Exactly.
think
Switched
when
off.
teams have nothing to
See,
play for,
there's a difference between being confident and overconfident. That switched off wasn't being confident. That was overconfidence, and that
I'm
was
100% agreeing with
yes.
you on that. But that's my
That's what
point
I'm going to,
because they were.
and that is the reason why I say, when you compare the captain MS Dhoni and Rishabh Pant, MS Dhoni is the kind of a captain who will bounce back after 3 consecutive losses, and he will bounce back in a way that you guys will actually feel okay, we were beaten. And then there's Rishabh Pant who hasn't been tested yet, so it's first playoffs, first semi-final kind of a situation. I think he'll be under a lot of pressure, and he will, go down. Delhi Capitals are going down tomorrow.
See, our captain
Yeah.
sits on our bench. Our captain, whether it's Shreyas or Rishabh in the middle, is not actually captain. The captaining is happening
But
on the bench.
you
Everyone
know,
knows
Ricky
this.
Ponting.
believe me, there's no clarity who's the captain. Whether it's Ricky Ponting, whether it's Rishabh Pant or Shreyas
It's very
Iyer
clear. The
who's
captain
calling
is
the
Ricky
shots.
Ponting. The guy in the middle is just heavy. He's doing whatever he feels like. But the Ricky Ponting is scoring the shots from the sideline. So I think, honestly, actually, it's better. The way Delhi played yesterday, if they had won, it would have been a problem because they would have got into this false sense of security that we can basically play half-assed and still win. But the fact that they lost playing the way they played yesterday, I think Ricky Ponting will absolutely go at them and like make sure that they switched on when it comes to tomorrow.
Yeah, well, Ankit summed it up really well in the comment section. It seems that CSK was Delhi is today itself and not tomorrow, given the
Exactly.
way
It's
how.
way too late.
Exactly, yes, but we are actually forgetting one team is still yet to be covered. So Ronak, surprisingly, RCB is the team that wasn't mentioned
Sorry to cut you off.
quite a
I
lot.
just want to say one thing. Today, without IPL, the IPL games, or this week, there's no PL games also. So today feels actually very empty.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
yes,
It's
matlab,
so
Yeah.
it's
boring.
exactly, yes, sir. But yes, sir, talking about RCB here. So I mean, obviously, we haven't heard RCB being mentioned except for Rishi mentioning that he would see RCB as one of the finalists in this. But yeah, so Afzal is joining. Okay, so Varnata can't make it. So she said that कि 8:45 को 8:45 तक हो जाएगा, which is unfortunately not the time that we have left. But so Ronak, let's talk about RCB for a matter. So obviously lots of praises being mentioned for RCB already, with Rishi sir setting the tone that he wants to see a CSK RCB final. But what a win that was, man, last night against Delhi Capitals. Ahan said that Delhi Capitals were kind of switched off, but hitting the last ball for a six, I mean, obviously that would do so much better for the momentum for RCB going ahead into the big one against KKR on Monday. So your thoughts on RCB season so far, and do you think that they could finally do it this season?
Well, if you know what momentum is all about, then you know that a team ending on a high in the first innings, then they have the momentum, and sometimes they do miraculous things in the first innings. If they have hit 20 runs for the last overs, then they have momentum in their face, and then in the second innings they come out to ball positively, and then maybe restrict the other team. So momentum, if that is momentum, then what Srikar Bharat did last match and the reaction that the dugout gave, the confidence was sky high, up, especially after beating DC and DC. I would be honest, not partial or biased about RCB, but I would be honest that DC has been the best team of the tournament so far, in terms of consistency, in terms of the way they played the tournament. But we have somehow beaten them, or we have beaten them twice in the tournament. So we have the confidence going in with that. And as far as playing, as once mentioned, that Sarja is a pitch that they favor. But I would like to say Sarja is a kind of pitch that we thrive on. We have Chinna Swami at our exposure for like 14 years, so that is a kind of pitch that we thrive on. So that is always our high ground. And you never. If you see, RCB is the only team that could break the Sarja code, not once but two three times. They may no other teams were able to cross 130, but in our first game itself we crossed 150, 156, though Chennai chased it down at the last ball or last second ball. But that was it. Like we broke the code for not just one game. In the second game also, we made what, 171, 172. So we have the momentum at our side on this ground specifically. So if pitches, jinxing, and players performance, momentum, if these words are in fact, and if these words in fact hold some truth to it, then we have the best chance.
Definitely, yes. And we are joined here by another RCB fan, Arjun here. So, Arjun, you were a part of the watch along last night when the
That
final
reaction,
over
man,
was
that
being.
reaction.
Yes.
That reaction was unbelievable. So we were just
Yes.
talking about the eliminator on Monday. So RCB versus KKR. So already once talked about KKR a little bit, and Ronak started off with the topic of RCB and how Sharjah pitch might be favoring RCB more than Kolkata in that game. So Vanch is nodding his head. I mean, he's not agreeing with this. We'll let one speak. But coming to you, Arjun. So obviously, yet another playoffs for Virat Kohli's team. So what are your thoughts on this? And do you think how much of a threat will KKR be on Monday? Because they are a team to watch out for. Ahan already mentioned that that is a team that Delhi Capitals will be finding it difficult if they meet them in somewhere. So do you think that the hurdle against Kolkata Knight Riders will be the most difficult one in the playoffs for you guys so far?
Yes, yes, definitely. Like, if you ask me, the best team of the second half has been KKR. They've been too good in the second half, and they have the right. They've picked up the momentum at the right time, and they're going to be really tough, especially in Sharjah with the mystery spinners of Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti. So it's going to be a really tough battle. I feel RCB should bring out Vanuntu Asaranka at this kind of a situation because in Sharjah pitch he can be really handful. He can replace Garton maybe, and it can be a real spin battle of probably two of the best spin attacks. If Asaranka comes into the game, it'll be a really good spin battle between both the teams, and it's going to be a really exciting match. And like both the teams have a decent amount of momentum coming into this game, and both have a lot to like. It's an eliminator, so obviously it's like do or die. So you have to bring your A game to the picture, and I think RCB is up for it. Like till one match back, I would have thought that KKR has an upper hand, but with yesterday's kind of win, I think it's an evenly matched contest now. Both the teams have a lot of momentum.
Yeah, Ronak. First, once you answer, since you haven't spoken in a while, then Ronak can answer.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
once,
sure,
what do you
sure.
make of Arjun's comment?
Well, I feel that we've got the more momentum on our hand just because of the fact that we've played at Sharjah, obviously, and our record at Sharjah this year, we've beaten Delhi and we've beaten Rajasthan Royals now. Delhi top side of the tournament, we have beaten them in a must-win situation. The only matches we've lost are against uh, whom I'm forgetting, and CSK. Yes, the last ball match. So I mean, we've performed there's no doubt that we've been the best side of the second half, and Arjun rightly mentioned that. And I think momentum is in our favor. Even the pitch conditions are in our favor. We've got a bowling attack which has a lot of variety and which is suitable for any kind of batsman. So if you bring in a left-hander like a Padikkal or someone, we've got the likes of Varun Chakravarti, who's a mystery spinner. Narayan can take the ball away from the left-hander. If you bring in Virat Kohli, AB de Villiers, we've got someone like a Shakib Al Hasan now, who can take the ball away from the right-hander as well. We've got the pace of Lockie Ferguson. We've got the pace of Shivam Mavi and the slower balls that he brings out as well. So, I mean, the best bowling attack of the second half is Kolkata Knight Riders. Not saying as a KKR fan, but genuinely speaking as a cricket fan. And I think if KKR have to win the eliminator, there has to be a complete performance by the bowlers. Yes, I am a bit tentative about the batting there, as Rishi rightly mentioned that the top order is lacking experience. But if they play freely and if the bowlers, get the job done in the first innings or in the second innings, however the toss comes up, I think that KKR have a better chance to win this game at Sharjah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, so do you think Russell will come into 11 if he's fit?
Personally, I don't want him to come at this moment because Shakib is in amazing form, and at Sharjah you need three spinners. So I feel that a left-hander and the form which he's in, I feel Shakib should stay in the 11. I mean, if I'm not jinxing this at all, but if we reach the finals, I think Russell should come in irrespective of how good Shakib is performing. Irrespective of how good Shakib is performing, because Russell, the kind of impact player we need him for the finals, especially at that pitch. I think the final is in Abu Dhabi, so I think we
Dubai.
need.
No, no.
Okay, okay. So even if it's Dubai or Abu Dhabi, I think we need Russell for the finals. If it's at Sharjah, I'll go with the horses for courses formula, and I'd want Shakib to play at Sharjah for both the games.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you see that Sharjah pitch, you mentioned that you have the momentum. I agree to the fact that KKR has been one of the breaking forces in the second half of the season. But I would like to say that in the second half, we saw a funny thing that all the teams are on the panel are discussing about bowling. UAE has done that thing that in a T20 game, in the T20 scenario, you are talking about the bowlers more than the batsmen. Every team is concerned about our bowling is doing that, our bowling a variety, our bowling will do this, marking the bowler versus batsman, not the batsman versus bowler markup. So every team is doing that combination in UAE, and this has done a funny thing. But yes, Vansh, what do you think that what would be KKR's master stroke? Like they have their opening batsman sorted up, but master stroke in terms of Rahul Tripathi, I would like you to mention about him and the prospect that he has been. Because you see that he has been the highest run scorer for your side, and no one expected that, or no one predicted that in the first start of the tournament. So, how do you feel about Rahul Tripathi and his partnership with Venkatesh Iyer? If you can highlight on that fact.
I feel the top three in general, in fact, have been the underdogs, and Rahul Tripathi has been the solid rock for us, the silent and the solid rock for us. Yes, he has been very consistent, and we've seen him being consistent for Rising Pune Super Giants as well. When they had come into the IPL. So I mean, Rahul Tripathi, kudos to him for the job that he's done for KKR, and not to forget Venkatesh Iyer in the second phase. I mean, the way that the uncapped players, as I previously mentioned, the way that these guys have put their hands up, I mean, it's phenomenal to see that the likes of Nitish Rana, who's uncapped, who's capped now, in fact, and Venkatesh Iyer, Rahul Tripathi. Rahul Tripathi, I have no doubt that he's going to score a 20 or a 30 in every game. That's the kind of confidence that Rahul Tripathi has brought into the side. And it's not just that he's played rash shots or powerful shots. He's maneuvered the field well. He's found the gaps at right times. He's played according to the situation, and that's what I like most about Tripathi.
Yes, sure. Prasanna, you had something to say.
Yeah, so two things here. Sanjay just mentioned we have almost an hour. Bloody hell, man! I never knew 1 hour put past so quickly. That's so. And
Yeah,
I wanted to ask Arjun, speaking about RCB, have they finally found the solution for the number three? Because we seen what happened earlier. I mean, they tried Washington Sundar, Patida didn't work. Even Dan Christian for a game didn't work, and there were talks were whether ABD or Maxwell should come up to number three. But then Srikar Bharat has, yes, not only yesterday, even the past few games has shown that he can bat the number three. So, do you think the number three problem has been solved?
Yes. Definitely, it's been solved. In fact, I thought it was solved even in the few games back, but then RCB experimented and ruined it again. But now, for sure, especially after such a match-winning knock, he's definitely sealed the number three spot. And I really hope that they don't tamper anymore, especially going into a must-win game like this. They have to stick to the same. Even ABD coming at number four also ahead of Maxwell is like a perfect thing for RCB. I really hope they stick to this batting order and don't tamper anymore.
Okay, so in KKR RCB, I'm just asking both you and Arjun and Vansh, where do you think the game will be won or lost for RCB as well as KKR? Anyone of you can take this.
For RCB, power play wickets need to be taken. That's the only weak link I see at the moment. There are no wickets in the power play. If they can rectify that, then everything else seems to be in place.
I think that we shouldn't lose wickets in the power play. I completely agree with Arjun. It's the top order for KKR. I mean, yes, they've performed well, but I'm a bit tentative of the top order at this point of time. Rishi also mentioned that fact, and I agree with Arjun here as well. So, no wickets lost in the power play, or max to max 1 wicket lost in the power play for KKR. I think we would be in a good situation to win the match.
yeah, absolutely. And before we move on to yes, Ahan, please
No,
go
I
ahead.
just had a point for I think Vansh was talking about earlier when he said that KKR have the best bowling attack in the tournament and that the on the back half of the tournament they've been the best team. I mean, I know I said that KKR like is the according to me the one of the most scary teams left, but I think KKR's record in the back half is 5-2, right? Like they won five, lost two.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Delhi have lost two as well. So I'm really confused why there's this hype train around KKR like winning. I think Delhi's 4-2 because they played one extra coming in, and also in the bowling attack, I think KR like I mean they've got a good bowling attack, but Sunil Narayan is not like he's been like not doing a lot in the last 2-3 games. So I think they need him to find some form pretty quickly.
I think Narayan has found his form. I mean, yes, he's not picking up those wickets, but he's going at an economy of less than 6 and 7 in the last 4 matches now. So I think Narayan has got his form back, and I agree with you that yes, Delhi is one of the contenders for the top bowling attacks in the second half, but not biased at this point of time. But yes, KKR have the variety with them, which slightly puts them at top.
Yes, I know that someone called it that we have a boring day in the IPL for the first time, but I think 1 hour passed by. Like this is the banter will keep on going, and it will be a 4 hours IPL if we go on, and we'll have the decision already over here, and the teams will just see, okay, what is the end result? You just guys say, we'll declare that. But before we move on to the predictions game, I'd like just like to add last question to Arjun, what do you feel about Harshal Patel's rise and his scenario and he being the catalyst or to RCB's success in this season? Just a word on Harshal Patel, and then we will move on to our last segment.
First, I'd like to thank DC for trading him to us. Like DC really is good at trades, I guess. They really, as charity, they gave Bolt to Mumbai, and now they've given Harshal to us. So it's a great trade. And he's really so always RCB's main problems have been death bowling and middle order batting. Maxwell has solved middle order batting, and now Harshal has solved the death bowling, and that's why I feel RCB looks like a complete team. And really, like 30 wickets is like unreal stuff. That too from an uncapped player. I really hope he goes on to break Dwayne Bravo's record because being IPL is always good that the highest wicket taker is an Indian. So I really hope that Harshal breaks that barrier. And like this World Cup, I don't see him coming into the squad, but definitely next World Cup or next series, any Asian series where you need cutters and all that stuff, I really see Harshal coming into the Indian team very soon. Especially since he's an all-rounder, also if he can work on his batting, then nothing like it. He can be a perfect T20 package for the Indian team, and we really need players like him. So seeing his rise like this is phenomenal.
Yes, Rishi, you were saying something.
A lot of people have said, Harshal Patel's wicket are हिंदी में बोलते हैं ना तुक्का wicket या fluke से आ जाता है. But let's not forget, 30 wickets is no kidding. I mean, 30 wickets in almost 14 games, you have to bowl good areas. The batsmen have to be really stupid to give someone 30 wickets in one season. And personally, I believe he's going to be the leading wicket taker end of the season. He will break Dwayne Bravo's record. I have a feeling that he'll do that this season.
He needs
Hopefully,
just
Yes,
two
hopefully.
wickets, so I think he'll definitely do it. To be fair.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
yes, absolutely. Okay, so we have our last segment on cards that we need our predictions hat on, as we always do. Ki mera team ye karega, mera team ye karega. We all do that in our bed, in our couch, and say ऐसा नहीं करना चाहिए था, इसको ऐसा shot नहीं खेलना चाहिए था. We all do that. Let's be honest. So last prediction. Uh, if you are like, I'll go one by one. Don't say your name, your team's name. I'll just ask, say which opposition will you play at the finals. That one thing, and the second thing, who will be the man of the match in the finals. Two things you have to call out specifically here, and you can record this as well, and then post it if that goes right. So I'll start with the table toppers. DC, if you can do that. Ahan.
I know he's already recording, but anyway.
No, I'm not recording. Who will Delhi will play in the finals?
Yes.
Yes.
What if Delhi don't
They
make the
won't reach the
finals?
finals.
I'm just saying hypothetically, if that happens, then who would you like to face in the finals?
Who would I like to face? I would like to face RCB. And
RCB.
I think man of the match would be Harshal Patel.
Harshal Patel. Okay, that sound interesting. And then a baller. We are seeing this trend of baller being the highlight in this leg of the IPL.
See, I'm not gonna go and say Delhi are winning this IPL, because if they don't, then people will start slaughtering me. So I'm telling you, RCB will win the IPL, and Harshal Patel will be man of the match.
Yeah, I got that. I got that trick over there that you are doing. And again, you are working your jinxing game, as Sanchit said that you taught him. So that can come to a matter of fact.
Hey,
But
Sanchit has already jinxed Delhi's chances by saying Delhi is going to win the IPL this season.
yeah, he has actually
I
put that on
There you
Twitter.
go. His comment is right
Again,
there.
again.
He just commented.
Yeah. Okay. So we have three CSK guys at number 2 position in the table. So we'll take one by one. Rishi, you can go first, and then we'll follow by Prasanna and Nikhil.
So, finalist, I would want to play against RCB. I think they deserve to be in the finals. And even if we don't win, I'll be happy if Virat Kohli lifts the trophy on the 14th. And my man of the match for the finals would be Rituraj Gaikwad. He's had an absolute brilliant season. He's going to be the emerging player of this season. He will get that trophy, and hopefully he will win as the IPL this year as well.
Wait, sorry, Rishi, you think he'll get it? Like for sure, the emerging player?
100% he will.
I think Avesh and him Avesh has as strong a case as a bowler.
He has, but I think Rituraj Gaikwad will get it this year.
Let's see what happens on the finals day. This recording will be there out live, so we'll take it out and tag you if that happens. Any of like that will be, because we are doing this already 4-5 days earlier, so we can actually go and say that we did this. So Prasanna, coming back to you, you have something else to say, or you are going by what Rishi says?
I'd probably go on a different angle and say I'd probably say CSK KKR final, for the fact that we want some revenge for 2012, them stopping us from winning the three-peat at Chennai. And I'm counting on a reliable super Faf du Plessis to win it for us. So he'll be our man of the match, I feel.
That is also a very good choice, especially after so many ballers taking up. Now Rituraj Gaikwad and Faf du Plessis have broken that pattern.
Well,
Nikhil,
he is an elder statesman, and he has done it before, and I'm confident that he can do it for us. So
yes, absolutely. Nikhil, you have anything else, or you would like to follow your seniors over there?
No, I guess I have a little different prediction. CSK DC final, Ambati Rayudu to be the man of the match.
So three panelists saying three different things and picked all three teams. So सबको satisfy किया. थोड़ा तुम ले लो 33%, थोड़ा तुम ले लो, थोड़ा तुम ले लो. हम लोग तो खेलेगा ही भाई. But anyways,
generally it happens that the top two teams go through to the final as well. No matter who loses in the qualifier one, they eventually find their way back to the top. And I guess the best two teams of the league have been CSK and DC, so they'll go to the finals, and let's hope CSK get there fourth.
Yeah, sure. Let's hope. Everybody's hoping about that. And when we talk about hope, then RCB knows that the meaning of that word the most. So I'll go back to RCB. Arjun, what is your take on the predictions? Let's hear you out.
So not predicting, but I want it to be RCB CSK. and then it will be perfect like CSK farewell, and for Kohli also last match as a captain, so it'll be like for Dhoni a perfect way to sign off, and seeing Dhoni and Kohli playing together as captains probably for one last time would be a perfect way for a final. And at home, I'm from Chennai, so at home everyone supports the CSK. I support for RCB, so it'll be like a perfect battle at home while watching the TV. So it's going to be really entertaining if that happens. So I really hope that happens. And I know I might jinx it, but I hope RCB wins the final and ABD gets the man of the match.
Yeah, let's see what trends on Twitter higher. Let's do it for Mahi or let's do it for Virat. Let's see what
Yeah,
happens
exactly. Yeah,
on
don't
Twitter
like
on
Twitter will
that
go
channel.
crazy.
Yeah. Anyways, the most underdog or underrated team of the tournament so far, and they have done it absolutely brilliantly. KKR, and especially I'm sitting in Kolkata, so I cannot say bad things about Kolkata. Otherwise, I'll get something else. Kolkata, Vansh, what do you have to say about that?
Well, practically speaking, I think we'll face Delhi in the finals. Delhi will win tomorrow, and we'll beat RCB and CSK to get into the finals. And if we win the tournament, I think the man of the match for the finals would be Shubman Gill. I think he's in amazing form since the past two matches, and he'll continue that form in the next two or three possibly as well. So I think Delhi in the finals and Shubman Gill for the man of the match.
Wow, choosing a youngster over anyone else, that says a lot about KKR's camp and the way they have played this time around. Yeah, I think that's it for us. If anyone has parting words to say about their team or about anything, you can chip in or we'll wrap it up. Anyone, if you'd like to say anything.
I mean, I think it's done for Delhi as well. Sanchez has just predicted that Delhi is winning, so I think that's Delhi done. Thank you guys. We're out.
Yeah, that hurts, man. That hurts. Sanchit saying something and Akash Chopra and Gautam Gambhir. He even has bigger
Sanchez,
powers
can
than
you
Gautam.
stop? Like, you don't need to keep doing this. Just
Don't
stop.
stop. Keep doing. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
If
I
Sanchit's predictions, the way they go, DC won't win. Hopefully, if CSK win, Rajasthan Royal is going to win next season. I'll pray for that.
Oh
Wait,
wow.
which Iyer is he talking about? Man of the match.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
same, same.
that was a
There's
good
only
comeback.
one Iyer who's performing. It's not Shreyas Iyer.
Ooh.
Are you watching
Wow.
the same games I am?
Wow. Is the day really boring? Are we not having a match today? It feels like that we are having a match over here itself, like four teams playing on one day. But
Exactly,
anyway,
exactly.
yeah. Okay, so that's it, I think, from our side. And thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Especially, all the links will be provided in the description about Rishi's channel, about her, about Prasanna's channel, about whatever Insta IDs and whatever Ahans have. So everything will be posted on the YouTube link description. So follow them and see their absolutely brilliant stuff that they do in their life as well as in cricket. So that's all from our side at the Third Man Cricket. So I thank all of you on the panel who have joined us, even Nikhil and Vansh. I know you are core members, and Arjun, you have been our new member signing. So you get neglected a bit, but I would not neglect you. I'll thank you as well. So thank you for joining in. And this is the Third Man Cricket signing off. And let's hope we have a cracker of finale. Whatever, whoever wins, let's hope the best team wins. Whoever plays the best. So thank you guys. Thank you so much. Cheers. This is Ronak Kumar Kedia signing off.